Beautiful Las Vegas. Where else would the UFC finish off its 2025? The Apex is Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. UFC Fight Night flyweight bout. Number 2 versus number 6. We are here to talk about it from a gambling perspective. Hello, everybody. Brett Okamoto alongside Ian Parker. It is the final show of the UFC for 2025, which means the final episode of UFC Best Bets. We are here to make some money before the end of the year. But before we talk about this weekend's card in Las Vegas, let's go back to last weekend's card in Las Vegas. It was a UFC pay-per-view. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Petr Yan. How did we do at UFC 323, Ian?
Well, outside of Faraziem and Macy Barber, that was our big play. We got absolutely smoked when Pantoja broke his arm. He broke my dreams and broke our parlays and broke a best bet. So we got to at least win the last card of the year. I like it. I put out a large plate for us to bet on this week. Let's go.
Yeah, if it's any bigger than last week, I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it on the full screen there, but I'm excited to see how we make a bounce back over there at the Apex. Main event, as I mentioned before, Brandon Royval taking on Manel Kape, and I get it. Brandon Royval coming up at plus 225, but look, man, this guy just lost a Fight of the Year candidate against Joshua Van, who is the new champion, and before that, he had beaten Brandon Moreno and Tatsuto Taira, so this guy is quite good. But the odds makers have Kape at a minus 278 here. What do you think of this flyweight matchup?
You know what? Being that it's a 5-round fight, I think the value is in Royval if you're going to take a side. But where I really like this is the over 3.5 rounds. Look, there's no question that on the feet, Kape has power. He's a better technical striker. And he's got good takedown defense. What Royval really presents is pressure, pace, and a level of durability that you just can't teach. I mean, look, against Joshua Van, he was dropped a couple times, but he was never out of it. Against Tatsuto Taira, he had his back taken. And we just saw what Taira did to Moreno, and Royval was not only able to escape it, but able to win that fight. I think here, if he can get past the early power of Kape and drag this fight into rounds 3, 4, 5, I think a live play on Royval is a very solid play here. But for me, Brett, and I'm going to throw 5 units on this. I love over 3.5. I don't think either guy gets finished. If a finish were to happen, I think Royval maybe gets a sub in rounds 4 or 5. We haven't seen Kape go rounds 4 or 5, and if he gets the pressure and pace put on him, I would like to see his gas tank and see if it can hold up. So let's go over 3.5 in this one.
All right, coming out of the gate hot there with a 5-unit play in our first breakdown on the main event. Let's move to the co-main event. It takes place in the featherweight division. Giga Chikadze taking on Kevin Vallejos, and Chikadze plus 245 here. Vallejos, you got to pay a pretty high premium, minus 305. Are you doing that, or are you taking a look at the underdog here?
Neither. I'm going to go over 2.5 rounds, and I'm going to give you a very good reason why. Although Giga Chikadze is coming off back-to-back losses, he's fighting top-tier talent, but he hasn't been finished once in the UFC. And although Vallejos is a very good prospect, this fight is probably going to stay on the feet, in which Giga Chikadze is a very good striker. If Vallejos chooses to take the fight to the floor, he does have the advantage here. However, this is a big step up in competition, too. I mean, what, 1.5 years ago, we were talking about Giga being one of those guys that's a sniper in the division. I think this goes over 2.5. I think it's a little bit more competitive than what the odds say. So give me the over. I think this thing even goes bell to bell.
All right, so we're going back-to-back overs there in the main and co-main event. Let's move on to your next best bet. We stay in the 145-pound division. We got Melquizael Costa taking on Morgan Charriere. This is a heck of a fight on paper. How do you see it playing out? Very, very competitive, minus 110 on both sides.
Yeah, this fight's flying under the radar, a lot of fun, but I really love Costa here. I thought he was going to be much higher with the odds, although, you know, Charriere's got good striking. He hasn't fought the level that Costa has fought, in my opinion, and I think that Costa just has more ways to win on the feet. I think Costa may be the better striker, Charriere with the power, but when it comes to the ground and it comes to that back take and that pressure, Costa's got it by light years over Charriere. So at minus 110, I got to go Costa here. I got to imagine he closes the distance, turns this into a wrestling match, grapple fest, and gets the win. Give me Costa to get, I believe, his third win in a row. Let's go.
Costa for the third win in a row, minus 110, but a very, very competitive fight. We're going with Costa in the 145-pound division. Let's move to the heavyweight division. You got Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha. Another pretty close odds here, minus 130. Buchecha comes back at plus 110, and you like Nzechukwu here.
Listen, I don't care what accolades Buchecha has in the jiu-jitsu world. I don't care that Kennedy just got heel hooked by the heel hook master and Walker. Buchecha looked absolutely atrocious in that last fight. Kennedy is the better striker. He has fought in the UFC for a long time. He's fought better fighters, in my opinion, probably better grapplers. If he could just avoid the early takedown here, he probably gets this win by knockout. So at minus 130, I have to take the veteran, the experience, the striking over the grappling that looked terrible in what he's best at, Buchecha. So give me Kennedy at minus 130.
Okay, taking Kennedy at minus 130 there. And then we move on to the lightweight division. You got King Green taking on Lance Gibson Jr. What do you think about this lightweight matchup?
Listen, I've seen Lance Gibson Jr. for a long time. I love that the UFC is giving him an opportunity here. He's good on the feet. He's great on the ground. He's got the youth advantage, and King Green is just at the end of the line. I mean, I don't, this is more of a loyalty thing, I guess, and this is to see if Gibson could be in the UFC meeting. Can he compete? I got to take plus 180 on the UFC debutant against someone in Green that I don't think he's got much left in the tank. He's always down for a war, right? But Gibson's not going to fight that way. Expect Gibson to utilize his wrestling, get on top. I wouldn't be shocked if Gibson got the finish, but I'm not greedy. So plus 180, I'm going to go with the underdog here. Gibson Jr., let's go.
King Green, an absolute soldier. We've seen that time and time again. But with a plus 180, we like Lance Gibson Jr. in his first appearance in the UFC. Final best bet. Ian teased that he's got quite a few of them. So we got one more here. We go to the strawweight division. Jillian Robertson taking on Amanda Lemos. And Robertson is a pretty sizable favorite here at minus about 200, but you still like her at 2-1 odds.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to get the odds better, take her by double method of victory to win by sub or decision here. Look, there's no secret that Jillian Robertson, outside of Mackenzie Dern, is the best offensive grappler and jiu-jitsu practitioner in this weight class. She's strong. She's big for the class. And Amanda Lemos presents a threat on the feet, but once Jillian gets to you, wraps around the body, takes you down, there's nowhere for you to go. I think this is going to be the Jillian Robertson coming out party. This is where she really shines and calls for a title shot after. Lemos on short notice in a small cage always favors the grappler. Give me Robertson. I wouldn't go any higher on the money line, but at minus 198, I will still take her to win this fight.
All right, we got some parlays to get to, but before we do that, we have a long shot prop for you on Saturday. What is it, Ian?
Listen, last card of the year, Neil Magny, round 3. How do we say no? That's how he wins, and he's fighting someone who is coming from Bellator, who hasn't fought in a couple of years, who was undefeated and lost their title. And with Magny at this number, I mean, Brett, if he gets out of round 1 and he's able to drag this to round 3 at that number, Neil Magny, round 3 to win, to close the year out, sign me up. Let's go. Nothing crazy, Joe. Just a little sprinkle, but that's a fun flyer.
Neil Magny, 25-1 prop feels right. Feels right on the final card of 2025. Let's get to the rest of your action for Saturday. It starts with the long shot parlay. Where are we going with the long shot parlay on Saturday?
You know what? This doesn't feel very long-shotty to me. I love these odds. Give me Jillian Robertson to win by submission. And if you ask her, she always says Jillian Robertson round 2. But let's just get the sub in any round. Works for me. Kevin Vallejos to win by decision over Giga. And last but not least, we saw the Contender Series. He's got crazy knockout power. Give me Steven Asplin to win by knockout or TKO at minus 125. At plus 1142, 3 legs, method of victory, cycle, whatever you want to call it. Let's hit it to end the year.
I like it. Nice little 3-teamer there for 11.5-1 odds. And how about our last order of business, our final Parker's Parlay of 2025? Where are we going?
2-legger plus odds. Give me Anderson Brito fighting a UFC debutant, and give me Asplin. I'm going to double up on him to get the win. Doesn't have to win by knockout. Just has to get it done at plus 107, 2-2-1 favorites. Let's go.
It is the final UFC Fight Night of 2025. It's on ESPN2 and the ESPN app, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And that is it for UFC Best Bets for 2025. I am typically always the one that closes the show, so I'm going to throw it over to Ian. Ian, your final message for our viewers of 2025 before we head into the new year.
Yeah, listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whether you love me, hate me, fade me, tail me, it was a fun year. I want to thank ESPN. I want to thank the production team. This has been absolutely a dream come true to do this show, especially with you, Brett, who's become such a close friend, and now I call family. This is Not goodbye. This is see you later. This will not be the last you see of Best Bets, I hope. But it's been a fun ride. Let's end the year on the high note. Love you guys. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue handicapping bets and UFC fights anywhere you look. So stay tuned to Ian Parker's Twitter account. He'll let you know where everything's going on, and you can always seek him out for gambling advice. Until then, enjoy the fights this weekend, the final card of the year. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in 2026. Take care.